Here are two phrases to delete from your health and wellness vocabulary in 2026. I always self-sabotage, and this is only going to get worse. So as I'm here with you recording this, it's Monday, December 22nd. We're rounding the bend into Christmas, and this is a time of year where we put a lot of pressure on ourselves inadvertently to, stick to the diet or try not to screw it up too much. And there's a whole lore around the new year and repenting for the sins of last year and going on a strict diet and ramping up exercise. And I do actually like the new year, new you thing. I do kind of like it. I think it's interesting, and I do this myself. I think, wow, a whole new calendar year in front of me. What could this year hold? And I think it's productive to look at it that way, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. And I also don't think you need to be repairing or apologizing for whatever happened last year. That's not the spirit behind it, but sort of like, what can I bring newly into this new calendar year that might make me happier and healthier? And I think it's nice to critically think about stuff like this. So I just want to give you something right off the top, is that you really can't screw this up that badly over the holiday season. I think a lot of times we decide that the holiday season is going to be this very terrible time for nutrition and health. Only if you decide it's going to be. It doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. It's a drop in the ocean of your lifelong health behaviors. We have a lot of agency over how we decide to execute and think about our health behaviors. Your brain is a powerful factor. Your mind, your mood, your programming is a very powerful factor. Your body is along for the ride. It trusts and believes anything that you say to it. So if you say, wow, I always blow it at Christmas time, your body believes you. And you're going to maybe convince yourself it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I always blow it at Christmas time. Oh, look, I did it again. I do this every year. I gain 7 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's, which is some statistic that you see floating around. But you don't have to do that. Now, in that same vein, I would love to set you up with two phrases to ideally delete from your vocabulary in 2026. Number one, I always self-sabotage. I do wish I could remove the phrase self-sabotage from your brains, from your awareness, from your consciousness, because this is one of the most self-limiting statements I hear women make on a regular basis. And usually it's couched in the framework of, whenever I try to take care of myself and achieve my health goals, I always self-sabotage. First of all, I don't think it's true that you always self-sabotage. Let's zoom out and just think about this in the context of your entire existence, because you don't exist on planet Earth just to be a dieter. You have other things going on. You have a job, you have a family, you have a life. You're not always self-sabotaging. It's absolutely not true that you always self-sabotage. Most women use the phrase self-sabotage to describe moments that feel confusing, frustrating, discouraging, disappointing, or shame-inducing while they're on a health journey. I was doing great and then I blew it. Or I don't know why I keep getting in my own way. I always self-sabotage. You're not self-sabotaging, but believing that you are is probably keeping you stuck longer. So let's slow this down and talk about this truthfully. With self-sabotage, this experience you're having, what it is not lack of discipline. It's untrue to say you are undisciplined. It's not weakness. You're not weak. It's not laziness. You're not lazy. It's certainly not a character defect. And it's also not proof that you don't want it badly enough. I think that's a narrative you might pick up in some wellness circles. And I'm very, very deeply opposed to these wellness circles that are designed to shame you into action. I just don't think it's a productive way of going. Oh, you don't want it badly enough. What is that one phrase people say? It's like, oh, instead of saying, I don't have time, try saying, it's not that important to me, and see how that feels. This is supposed to shame you into realizing that you're lying to yourself about how important this is to you. And I don't think you're lying to yourself. I truly do think you're a busy person. You're a human being. You contain multitudes. You have a lot more going on in your life than fitness and wellness. And I think the problem we have right now, that I'm on my soapbox, is that the wellness people that you get your advice from on the internet, this is their whole job. It's very, very easy for me, a nutritionist who works online, to say food is the most important thing in your life. I can say that because that is the most important thing in my life. I'm a nutritionist. I work online, help people with their food. But that isn't the most important thing in your life. Objectively, it's not. It is an important thing, but you have to make time for it just like you have to make time for everything else. And there's only so much time in the day. Anyways, If it were any of those things, laziness, weakness, lack of discipline, proof that you don't want it badly enough, then sheer willpower would fix it. You would just decide, okay, I'm going to get over my BS here and I'm just going to transcend these things. If that's all it was, you would have transcended it by now. You would have solved it. But you've been trying that for decades. You've been trying the willpower, self-discipline play for decades. And here we are. It's still not working. So it's something else. Self-sabotage is not self-sabotage, it's something else. And my hunch is it's self-protection. Your nervous system is making a calculation that looks like something has changed here. This is different, and different is unpredictable, and it might not be sustainable. We're not totally sure about this change, so I'm going to pull us back to familiar ground. Here's an analogy that I use way too often. And I don't want this to sound kooky and woo because I don't consider myself a kooky and woo person. I'm a very pragmatic, logical person, but this makes sense to me. This analogy of alpine or cross-country skiing, where you're skiing in the grooves, you got your skis in the grooves, and if you've ever done the cross-country skiing, it's very nice to ski in the grooves. They're basically icy and your skis glide perfectly on them. If you try to ski out of the grooves, it's way harder and your skis kind of want to go back into the grooves. That's the same idea. Your nervous system is trying to pull you back into the familiar grooves because your nervous system is saying, this is different. Different is automatically a little scary and weird. Let's go back to familiar ground. It's not betrayal. It's not self-sabotage. It's your biology doing its job to keep you safe. Safety is a massive factor in biology. Safety is a massive factor in metabolism, right? The special little category of biology that I care about is metabolism, how your body uses fuel. Well, the way your body uses fuel depends on what's going on in the environment. Your nervous system is trying to figure out what's going on and how to nourish you. And if you've just changed the inputs, your nervous system's going to say, that's weird. What are we doing? Like, let's say, for example, you decide to go keto because you have a beach vacation coming up and you want to drop a few pounds. You can probably do it for 2 weeks to get ready for the beach vacation, but the second you're presented with the carbs at the breakfast buffet at the resort, there you go right back in your ski grooves and you'll say, oh, I was doing so good. I don't know why I always self-sabotage. It's not self-sabotage. You're just a hungry person craving carbs. And your nervous system was like, hey, there's those carbs we liked. It's biology doing its job. Your body doesn't care about your weight loss goal at all. Your biology does not care about your weight loss goal. Your biology and your nervous system do not think that's an important goal at all. Now, I know that there's health benefits to be had for weight loss. And some of you watching this might have a health desire. You might have a specific health outcome that for which weight loss is a critical factor. And by the way, if that is you, you are specifically the kind of person I love to work with. I really have a tremendous passion for working with women who have weight to lose as a matter of health. That's more interesting to me, if I'm being very honest, than aesthetic weight loss goals. But I care about women and I care about how women feel about their bodies, which is why I work with women on all ends of that spectrum. And this is also why I'm having this conversation with you. Because you aren't self-sabotaging. You're not a defective human that always self-sabotages. You need to quit saying that about yourself. It's not helping you. Your body doesn't care about your weight loss goal. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It doesn't think it's important at all. It doesn't know that you want to like the way you look in pictures. It doesn't know that you have a closet full of size 10s hanging in the closet that you can't get into. Your body doesn't care. When you make a health change that triggers appetite change, like hunger, it makes hunger feel different. It makes you feel deprived or undernourished, or your body feels like a social friction. Like if your body senses that you're finding it hard because maybe the rules are rigid or there's a loss of pleasure and you're sad. If your body senses you white knuckling it through a really difficult program, your nervous system doesn't say, oh, cool, we're growing here. Nice, amazing. Your nervous system doesn't say, wow, this is amazing that this human that's running me here is making a big change. That's awesome. Your nervous system doesn't think that at all. Your nervous system is like, alert, alert, abort. What's going on? This is scary. This feels bad. Most health improvement feels bad because you're skiing out of the grooves. And I think there's something to be said here about like, can we shrink or simplify the health change so it doesn't feel quite so alarming to the nervous system? Is there a way we can make a health change that will solve the health struggle you want to solve, whether that's weight loss, fitting into your clothes, restoring metabolic health, pulling yourself back from prediabetes, whatever? Is there a way we can do this that feels so simple that your nervous system barely perceives it? Because if so, then you won't self-sabotage because your nervous system won't go into protection mode. I feel this so strenuously. My company is called Eat Simple for this reason. I want this to feel like the simplest, most nourishing, beneficial change so your nervous system doesn't revolt against it and pull you back into your old behaviors. When you're feeling the friction of a strict diet or lifestyle change, which many of you might be feeling here in a week's time when January 1st rolls around and you jump into the next 21-day shred, or somebody's running a program. I'm running a program in January called the Metabolic Reboot. I'm not doing it till late January because I want this all to die down. I want you to be in the right headspace before you do this. So you're going to go tackle this new thing. I'm going to start strength training. I'm going to start eating more protein, all this stuff that people are telling me to do. When you make a big change like that, your nervous system says, this is weird, change is weird, alert, alert, and it will do things like increase cravings and lower motivation and amplifying fatigue. It's going to nudge you toward the comfort and familiarity of the grooves that you know. And from the outside, this reads to you like sabotage. Why can't I just do it? But from the inside, it's simply self-regulation. It's an extremely safe thing for the body. So why do women use the phrase self-sabotage? I've thought about this for years. It's because diet programming has taught women that if the plan doesn't work, you are the problem. You didn't do it right. We're highly self-aware. We are attuned to noticing patterns and noticing emotions. We're emotionally tuned. And we've been trained to internalize blame. Stay with me on this. We've been trained to internalize blame. It's me. It's on me. This is, I think, the maternal instinct. Have you ever said, I put everyone's needs before my own? That's your maternal instinct. Internalizing blame, taking it on, that's your maternal instinct. That's part of your lady DNA. And you know what? It's one of the most beautiful parts of being a woman. Just a reframe for you. It's very beautiful that women are accountable. We're self-responsible. If we weren't, the species would have collapsed. We have to be very tuned this way. It's in our DNA. But now we're running this ancient woman female DNA in this modern diet culture, which tells us that if the plan isn't working, then you're the problem. You're doing it wrong. You're not doing it good enough. You don't want it badly enough. So instead of questioning the plan, saying, is this plan for me? Why is my nervous system revolting against this plan? Is this too strenuous or intense for me? Instead of doing that, questioning the plan, the timing, is this the right time? Is the structure, can I do keto? Is keto for me? They question themselves. We take it on. We take it on. Self-sabotage becomes a polite, socially acceptable way to say, something here it doesn't feel right, but I don't know how to name what it is, so it's probably me. And it's not. What are some examples of things that women describe as being self-sabotage? Eating off plan after a long day, soothing, self-soothing. I always self-soothe with food. I always self-sabotage. This is your nervous system seeking relief. Maybe losing momentum after having early success. I was so good on keto for 2 weeks, and then as soon as I got to the beach resort, I blew it. This is just the emotional backlash from restriction. It's your nervous system wanting to get back into the comfortable grooves. Or starting strong and then drifting. This is a common one. I'm good for the first 4 to 6 weeks, and then, I don't know, I just self-sabotage. It's just that the plan isn't integrated well into your real life. This is where I really double down in my programming. I need you to come into the coaching relationship with me and tell me about your real life so I can help you integrate the plan into your real life so the friction isn't so tremendous. So you don't get to that fatigue point at week 4 where you're like, I can't do this, I'm out. It has to feel as simple and easy as possible. It has to feel easy because easy feels safer. Difficult feels high friction for your nervous system. I hope I'm making a case here. This is your nervous system trying to protect you. Binging after being good, right? Or the flip side is saying F it, which might be happening to some of you right now. Like, well, I've eaten so many shortbread cookies now, I might as well just eat them all because there's no point. I screwed everything up. These are pendulum swings, right? These strong, strong pendulum swings. I'm good, I'm bad, I'm good, I'm bad. And that's so chaotic for your nervous system. Feels like chaos. We need to just bring that pendulum down. Oh, this reminds me, okay, do you know that scary ride at the amusement park? Do you know when like the state fair comes to town or whatever, the midway rides? I don't know if they still have this ride anymore because I hate rides, but there was that one ride a long time ago and it was a big, it was like a ship, like a pirate's ship. And the pirate ship would go pendulum swing, right? Scary. Like up here, it's like, ah, and then it comes down and then it's like, ah, this thing would go straight vertical. And it's so scary. I never got on it because hell no. But I would watch it and wonder why people weren't on it because I think rides are so scary. And then after a while, you would see that the boat would the amplitude of those swings would start to quieten down because now the ride's getting ready to let people off. And just the sense of relief when the big ship stops, it's like, this is nice. Okay, I feel safe again. It's a good analogy. We have so many big pendulum swings in the wellness and weight loss world. That's what makes it feel like self-sabotage because your nervous system is scared out of its mind. Like, no. Bring down the amplitude of your good and bad days, your on-plan, off-plan days. Make them like shrink that amplitude. Soft rolling hills of just good enough is one of the ways to do this. This is what I teach my clients. Let's get to good enough. Let's get to a good enough place that you can persist with, because then you know what we do? We delete self-sabotage from your experience of it. If it feels easy, you won't self-sabotage because there's no nervous system protection in something that feels easy. The point is, these are all things that women describe as being self-sabotage, and they're just normal. It just means the system you're using isn't compatible with your biology or your life, and your nervous system doesn't like it. So here's a reframe that can actually help you. Instead of saying, oh my God, why do I always self-sabotage? A more useful question is, what about this approach feels unsustainable or unlivable for me? This question invites curiosity instead of judgment. It invites adjustment instead of punishment. Instead of quitting, you just spin a dial. You just tweak it. Oh my gosh, the amount of tweaking I do with my clients. I've literally just increased the length of the metabolic mentorship, which is my guided, personalized women's health and weight loss program. I've just increased it to 8 months in length because we have to get in and turn these tiny little knobs, tiny little bits, so that we take the friction down to its lowest possible level so that you can persist without quitting. You have to quit quitting. And this is the idea of collaborating with your body and your nervous system instead of waging a war against it. Sabotage is a very sinister word. It's a violent word because you're at war. So if we're using the phrase self-sabotage, where's this battle? Why is it a battle? Dial down the battle and there's no sabotage here. It's just you peacefully coexisting with the ebbs and flows of a natural human life. You don't self-sabotage. You're self-preserving inside a diet culture that is demanding too much, too fast, with little regard for your biology, your psychology, and your lived reality. So when health change can actually feel nourishing, flexible, simple, human, it fits into your life, it's not grinding against your life, it's fitting in, you're in the grooves, then self-sabotage mysteriously disappears. We solve it. Not because you miraculously fixed yourself, but because you just stopped fighting yourself. So please delete the phrase self-sabotage from your vernacular because you're not a saboteur. It's not that evil. I would love for you to find a health practice that feels so easy to live with that you don't fight these feelings. Then you'll never self-sabotage again. The second phrase I would like us to delete from our vocabulary, ladies, is this commentary about how much worse it could be, how much worse it's going to get. This gets worse. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I'm specifically speaking about menopause and aging now. I remember I was at a conference one time. It was a health conference. I was speaking at it. And a woman came up to me after my talk. And she said, I really liked your talk. My talk was about coaching. I was doing a lecture about how to coach people. And this woman came up to me and said, I really liked your talk. I've been following you for a while, and I know that you work with women in midlife. She said, I think you need to know that when these women get into menopause and past it, it's so much harder for them to be healthy. And I think you really need to be contemplating that a lot more. It's so hard. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And I said, oh, well, I totally get it. I mean, I work with women in their 40s and 50s, and they're going through that, as am I. And she said, just you wait until you're 60. It gets worse. And I think back and it's like, somebody's been saying this to me every decade of my life. Just wait till you're 20. Just wait till you're 30. Just wait till you're 40. Just wait till you're 50. Just wait till you're 60. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. What is the point of saying this? What are we trying to prove? Are we setting ourselves up for doomsday and despair? I don't think that's a productive energy. I don't welcome it. I don't want to hear that. Oh, you think it's okay now? It gets worse. Oh, you're surviving and persisting now. You're feeling happy in your body now. Not for long. Don't give me that. I don't like hearing it. And I also think to myself, I also would never say that to somebody. I would never say to somebody, well, it's going to get a lot worse. How is that motivating? How is that inspiring to say? Never mind how the other person receives it. Because when I received it from this woman, I was like, get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, bye, nice meeting you, but gotta go. But what must it feel like to even say that to somebody else? I think what you're doing, and this is going to sound kooky and woo again, but you're manifesting. You're manifesting shittiness by believing that it's just going to get worse. So this idea of manifestation, the way I've intellectualized it is when we believe things, then we behave in the way that supports our beliefs. And then by behaving that way, we get the outcome that we expected we were going to get, and it self-fulfills. So let's say, for example, right now it's the middle of winter and it's super icy on the roads. And I might say, whenever it's icy, I always end up sliding through intersections and nearly getting into car accidents. So I'm getting into my car nervous about sliding through intersections and being on the ice and the icy roads and almost getting into car accidents, sliding through intersections. So then when I approach an intersection, I'm nervous. So maybe I hammer on the brakes to make sure I stop at the intersection. And in doing that, I lock up my tires. Now I'm sliding on the ice. By worrying about sliding on the ice, I behaved in a way that caused me to slide on the ice. And I'm sliding through the intersection and I'll say, see, this always happens. A more productive way would be to say, in the past, I've noticed that sometimes when it's icy, I slip on the intersection. Is there a different way that I can approach the intersection? So somebody might say to me, aging isn't great. I mean, I've been hearing it from every woman older than me since I can remember. Like, just you wait, it gets worse. So I can hear that and say, okay, apparently there's some way of aging that doesn't feel great. So how could I approach it when it's my turn in a way that feels better so I don't have to feel the way these women are feeling, these women that are warning me ominously about menopause and aging? Is there a way that I can approach the intersection of aging, in a manner of speaking, that will give me a different outcome? Is there a way that I can enjoy this process? Now, I know this sounds goofy, like who actually is enjoying the process of aging? It's not great. Your body feels different. Your brain feels different. You engage with the world differently. I think for me, one thing that if this is helpful, I don't know. One of the things that I've really embraced is there a way I can look at the change and respect it rather than fear it, or acknowledge it non-judgmentally rather than judgmentally? For example, my skin on my arms, okay? It's like crepey now. You can't see because my camera puts a filter on. I don't know why, but just like you all, like I'm 49 years old, the skin on my arms, if I hold my arm a certain way, it's like kind of wrinkly and crepey. Or, your neck. My neck looks different. Well, I can do one of two things. I can say, oh my God, it sucks when your hands get old looking. It sucks when your neck starts to hang. It sucks. It's the worst. I hate this about aging. Or I can say, obviously my skin on my neck and arms and hands has changed. I'm older. What can I do to support my skin? Is there a treatment I can get? Is there a moisturizer I can use? Can I just lean into acceptance? And by the way, I know this is a touchy subject, but some women really like to sort of quote unquote fight aging with treatments and surgery and injections and stuff. And some women are like, age gracefully, just let it happen. And I don't think there's a right answer. I think you get to decide, quite frankly. But you can have your own experience and say, well, what do I want my neck and hands to look like? Am I willing to go through like a invasive laser procedure so my neck and hands look better? Or am I more on the spectrum of like, I'm going to try a different lotion? Either way, we don't say, well, it really sucks when you get old and your neck starts to hang. It's brutal. Gosh, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I would never say that about somebody else's neck. I'm having a neck experience. This is my neck. I get to do what I want with my neck skin. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, okay. My neck skin is getting a little different because I've been wearing this skin on my neck for 50 years. Obviously, it's going to change. What do I want to do? What can I do, if anything, to make me feel better about the neck? I get a little bit of the control back. Somebody telling me that it sucks when your neck gets hangy, that has nothing to do with me. Keep that to yourself. If you really believe that being old means it's going to suck, then you get to go have that experience, but don't put that on somebody else. And so I think why we all need to adjust this language in our collective vocabulary is because it's not helping women generally. It's not helping us as a collective to perpetuate how bad it can be. Aging is hard. Menopause is hard. But we are solutions-oriented humans. We're women. Let's leverage that part of our DNA that solves problems, that is highly self-aware, And I think if we can change the way we all talk about our bodies, then the people marketing and advertising at us will have no choice but to change the way they talk about us. And then we can maybe, this is my fantasy, we get to change the whole narrative for generations behind us. Imagine if the young women, like I'm thinking of my nieces who are teenagers, imagine if my teenage nieces never had to hear, just you wait, it gets worse. If they never ever had to hear that, they would go through life feeling so much more peace and openness to the experience of going through their 20s, going through their 30s. Eventually, they're going to go through menopause. Eventually, they're going to be older women. They would feel a lot more peace and less dread about it. When we execute health and lifestyle change from a place of dread and fear and worry and terror, and I cannot spend another minute in this body, and I can't spend another minute with this neck, I'm going to jump on this supplement, I'm going to get this massively invasive, expensive surgery or whatever. Like we're just responding to our feelings. If we go back to what I said in the previous segment, we dial down the intensity of the feeling so that we can have our wits about us to make meaningful decisions. And I think there's something really beautiful about living in a body whose skin and hormones are changing and aging. It's not amazing. It's not rainbows. Absolutely not. But why do we want to perpetuate how bad it could be by just verbalizing that? I just don't think it's helpful. This is really present for me because I posted something in my Instagram feed talking about this. And just to give you the backstory, in case you don't follow me on Instagram, although why wouldn't you? I'm Eat Simple Erin on Instagram. It's my most active social platform. And I know Instagram's a dumpster fire, so I apologize for Instagram. I don't know. I feel bad for everything that you read on Instagram and see. But anyway, I called myself out for being a little dismissive about the warnings that women gave me. And actually, I remember when I posted this piece of content 3 years ago, I was 46 years old. And I'd just come back from this conference where this 60-year-old woman said, just you wait until you go through menopause. Your body changes and you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. You're all pretty now, but you just wait. And I was so annoyed by being on the receiving end of that I said, listen, don't tell me how it's going to go. All right. I'm 46 years old. It's not that bad. So I was calling myself out for that because I was 46 and I hadn't even gone through any changes yet. And then by my 47th birthday, things got weird. And there's something about age 47. I don't know if anybody else had that experience, but 47 was a very weird year. 48 was a weird year. By my 49th birthday, I'd really gotten things sorted out. And I haven't gone on HRT yet, just for the record. I will. I'm not opposed to it. But I just made some adjustments to my lifestyle and my self-talk so that I could reorient to my changing body, which I'm just trying to harmonize with myself. I don't want to fight against it. Like, that's my issue with this, is you're going to fight against a changing body? You're just going to fight it until you die? That sounds like a real waste of several decades of life, maybe the best decades of your life. Can you get into step with it? Can you harmonize? Can you feel generally good about it? It's a lot to ask. Anyway, I hadn't quite gone through any menopause changes then, so it was easy for me at 46 years old to say, this lady at the conference, she was talking some crap, and I don't buy it for 1 second. And then I was kind of cutely calling myself out for it. 49-year-old Erin was saying, oh boy, that didn't age well. Ha ha ha. It did get a little worse for me, but don't worry, I figured it out. And it was just kind of a tongue-in-cheek perspective I wanted to share. And then what I got in my DMs and in the comments of that post were doomsday messages. More doomsday, like, yeah, well, you're only 49. Just wait till you're 54. Why did you say that? What did you get out of saying that? Because it didn't mean anything to me. I don't believe you. I still don't believe you that it's got to be bad. But what did you get out of saying that? What do we get out of saying it? And women do this all the time, don't we? I never had babies, but when a woman has a baby, they say, oh, just wait till they're a toddler. So the woman has a brand new baby, enjoying the baby phase, the infant phase. And it's like, oh my God, just wait till they're a toddler. Just wait till they're 8 years old. Just wait till they're a teenager. Just wait till they're a young adult. Oh, just wait. It gets worse. It gets worse. It's like we can't even enjoy the in the moment because we're being pre-warned of the future moments. And I think this has to be a modern construct in modern womanhood. I don't think our great-great-great-great-grandparents did this. I think the great-great-great-great-grandma was more of a teacher and a guide. And now we're just approaching with this fear language that's holding us back. So the woman who says to me, oh, well, it's 49, it's easy for you now, wait till you're 54, she's holding her 54-year-old self back from being as amazing as she can be at 54. She doesn't know what I'm going to be like at 54, nor do I. I have no idea. but I'm not accepting that narrative. But why did she say it? Why do we say it? What do we get out of that besides perpetuating the misery of aging? It's not productive. It's not productive energy. I really want to clarify. I'm not here to positive psychology you into better self-talk. I don't even know what that means. But try not to lean into doomsday self-talk. That is the pendulum swinging in the very other direction. Is there a middle ground where we can say, you know what? This is weird. My body's doing weird things. What can I do to acquaint myself to this new version of me? Knowing that the 49-year-old version of me is going to be different in 5 years when I'm 54. And expecting that, but not worrying about it. Expecting it, but not worrying. This is approaching without fear so we can keep our nervous system safe. I think you're going to hear I think if you haven't already, you're going to hear a lot of narrative in the next couple of years about nervous system regulation. I think this is probably the next big $1 million idea in the wellness industry. But I've been thinking about this for a long time. Just to close with a little bit of an anecdote, I teach yoga. That's one of my sort of little side gigs that I do. And if you've ever done yoga class, there's a shavasana at the end, which is a relaxation. It's not really meditation. It's a relaxation. It's a physical relaxing onto the floor. And when I teach it, I guide the shavasana a little bit because when we lie down on the floor after a yoga class, we've just finished exercising. Your nervous system was showing up for the workout. Now we lay down on the floor and it's like, okay, relax. It's not quite that easy. So what I do when I talk people into relaxation is I say, let's just start by taking a big sigh. And I exaggerate that sigh in the class because that sighing breath sends a signal right up into your nervous system like, oh, we are relaxed. That big exhale of the sigh, you would only do that if you were physically in a safe environment. It's not responsible or reasonable to be sighing and drawing out the exhale breath if you're in a stress situation. You would never sigh in a stressful situation. So it's like we kind of like gaming this a little bit. If you send a sigh in, your nervous system's going to perceive that as, oh, we're relaxing. Oh, it's time to relax. And then I can walk people through relaxation to relax your jaw, relax your eyebrows, relax your hands, relax your shoulders, breathe into your belly, just start to soften the areas of your body that are holding. And the reason we do that is to send a signal back up to your nervous system. We are fully supported by the mat right now. We can stop working. There's no work to be done, and your nervous system can quieten. And being able to drop into even the little 5-minute shavasana at the end of a yoga class, or if you have a meditation practice, or if you have a relaxation practice. This is something that I have in my day. I have a deep rest practice where I go away from my desk and I lie down in my bed for however long I have, 7 minutes, 9 minutes between calls. I'm on Zoom all day long. And I don't sleep, but I just set an alarm and then I just let myself rest. And being able to tap into quiet nervous system states is incredibly healing. It's very metabolically important. I consider nervous system regulation to be one of the most metabolically crucial factors in your weight loss journey, my friends. But the thing I'm trying to get at here by referencing the shavasana at the end of yoga class is that we have the opportunity for small moments of mental rest and nervous system regulation throughout the day. And one of those moments would be, instead of saying, it sucks to be a woman aging, or instead of saying, I always self-sabotage, say something different. Just don't think or feel that fear-based language. Think or feel something safer. This is hard for right now, but I can figure it out. This plan isn't working for me right now. What can I change? That's a very productive, regulating behavior for your nervous system. I think it will go a long way.